Some secrets have a way of quietly tearing your world apart before you even realize you are standing in the wreckage. I always believed my family was an unbreakable unit built on mutual trust and absolute transparency. That comforting illusion shattered into a million pieces on a rainy Tuesday afternoon when a misplaced piece of paper forced me to look at my husband and sister with absolute horror. My name is Sterling, and I have spent the last 7 years building a comfortable life with my husband Vance. We owned a beautiful home in the suburbs, and our relationship was the envy of our social circle because we never seemed to argue. My younger sister Natalie lived just a few blocks away, and she was a constant fixture in our daily routine. We were the ultimate trio, or at least, that is what I blindly chose to believe. Vance and I met during our final year of college, and our connection was instant and effortless. He was a hard-working man with a gentle demeanor, while Natalie was always the free-spirited artist who needed a bit of extra guidance. When our parents passed away unexpectedly, I promised to look after Natalie, and Vance eagerly stepped up to help me fulfill that sacred family obligation. Everything began to unravel when Vance left his personal laptop open on the kitchen island while he was away on a weekend business trip. I rarely snooped because I had no reason to doubt his fidelity, but a series of urgent message notifications flashing on the screen caught my attention. The sender was listed under a generic business contact name, but the actual content of those messages was incredibly intimate and unmistakable. The digital conversation revealed a hidden world of secret weekend getaways and emotional confessions that spanned over 18 agonizing months. My heart hammered against my ribs as I read through their private plans for a future together that did not include me. The absolute worst part was discovering that the mysterious companion was actually Natalie, who had been using our family gatherings to hide her betrayal. I spent the next 3 days in a state of absolute numbness trying to process the magnitude of their deception. Every single memory of the past year felt tainted as I recalled the laughter we shared and the helpful favors I had done for both of them. I needed absolute proof before I made my next moves. Quietly downloaded their entire chat history onto a secure thumb drive. When Vance finally returned from his trip, he acted completely normal and even brought me a thoughtful souvenir from his travels. Looking at his smiling face made me feel physically ill because I could see right through his practiced deception. I decided to invite Natalie over for a casual dinner that very evening, pretending that everything was perfectly fine in our world. As we sat at the dining table, I waited until they were both laughing about a shared memory before I gently placed the printed chat logs directly between their plates. The laughter died instantly, and the color drained from their faces as they realized their secret was completely exposed. Natalie immediately burst into tears, while Vance sat in stunned silence, unable to offer a single word of defense. The confrontation that followed was a chaotic blur of desperate excuses and hollow apologies that only made the situation feel more insulting. Vance claimed it was a terrible mistake that got out of hand, while Natalie begged for my forgiveness through heavy sobs. I realized then that neither of them truly felt guilty for hurting me. They were simply terrified of facing the social consequences. I quietly stood up from the table and calmly informed Vance that he had exactly 1 hour to pack his bags and leave our home forever. I turned to Natalie and told her that our relationship as sisters was officially over because trust is something you can never rebuild once it is destroyed. They both left into the dark, rainy night, leaving me alone with the quiet echo of my new reality. The divorce proceedings were exhausting, but I refused to back down or accept anything less than what I rightfully deserved. I sold the suburban house and relocated to a vibrant new city to start completely fresh without the constant reminders of my painful past. It took months of therapy to heal the deep wounds of that double betrayal, but I slowly rediscovered my independent spirit. Looking back on that painful chapter, I understand that some people are only meant to be a lesson rather than a permanent fixture in your life journey. I lost a husband and a sister, but I ultimately gained an authentic life built on true self-respect and unbreakable personal boundaries. True peace comes from walking away from toxic people even when they happen to share your own blood.